Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupahani ChannelEye. I'm Sharon Masquinius.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charita Minapurarachi and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The program to inoculate the general public with the corona vaccine begins from the Western Province. WJM Bandara has passed away. The Kakuluturu Udane project starts from grade 1 of schools. School ceremonies have been suspended until further notice. Approval has been given to reopen preschools in the Western Province on the 15th of March. The Prime Minister instructs to expedite revisions under the Municipal Council and Urban Council Ordinance and Pradeshya Sabha Act. The national television gallantly celebrates its 39th anniversary, giving prominence to health guidelines.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. The Children's Tree Planting National Program titled Kakulu Turu Udane was inaugurated today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has presided over the maiden ceremony at the Vimaladharma National School premises in Atabage, Gampala. Each year, nearly 350,000 children are being enrolled to grade 1 of schools. The main objective of the program that has begun today is to make these students into citizens who love the environment and to inherit to the future generation a secure ecological system according to the Sustainable Environmental Policy introduced through the Saubhagya Dakma program. The President, along with the MPs and ministers, has mingled with the children to plant saplings and inaugurate the first Kakuluturu Udane. The program is being jointly conducted by the Ministries of Agriculture and Education. The government's aim is to add to the environment 1.7 million trees of jack, bel, coconut and mango trees within the next 5 years through the supervision of students. Students in urban areas will provide the plants of smaller proportions suited to their places of residence. Children living in houses without home gardens will be given plants in pots. Distribution of plants is being carried out by the State Ministry of Agriculture. Agricultural research officials at the Department of Agrarian Services are scheduled to submit annual reports on the children and their plants. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, symbolizing the admission of children to grade 1 in 2021, has registered the name of a child admitted to the Vimaladharma Vidyalaya in Atabage and also made a note in the log entry book of the school. Governor Lalit Yugamage has handed over the President a cheque valued at 6.3 billion rupees as contributions to the COVID fund raised by Central Province Department of Education. The President of this occasion has presented certificates of commendation to 3 teachers who have contributed their monthly salaries to the COVID fund. Principal of the school, Venerable Rupata Sonuttarathera, along with their staff and the students, have presented the felicitation souvenir to the President as a token of respect on his arrival to the Atabage Vimaladharma National School. The President, MPs and ministers have also proposed a group photograph with the students admitted to the grade 1 of the school along with the school prefects. A student of the school, Anushka Imeshan, has presented to the President a portrait of the President drawn by him. In the meantime, the President, prior to attending the school ceremony, has arrived at the Udagama public grounds and talked with the people who have assembled to welcome him. He has also inquired into shortcomings in the area and problems faced by the residents. The President has promised to accede a public request to reconstruct the Udagama Kalavellagula road and carpeting and also resolve the drinking water problem. The President has also inquired facts from the students who have arrived in front of the Atabage Rajananda Vidyalaya located in between Udagama public playground and the Vimaladharma Vidyalaya. The President, in fulfilling a request of the students, has pledged to complete construction of a building under construction at the school playground. Minister Mahindananda Alugamage, State Minister Sashindra Rajapaksha, Anuradha Jaratne, Lohan Ratwatte and Pial Nishanta, and parliamentarians Udayan Kirindagoda and Vasanta Yapa Bandara, as well as ministry secretaries and officials, have also attended the events.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has informed today to expedite the implementation of proposed amendments to the Municipal Council and Urban Council Ordinance and the Pradeshya Sabha Act. He has given the order at a meeting of representatives of the Local Government Institute Forum. Minister of State Services, Provincial Councils and Local Government Janaka Bandara Funeral said on this occasion that the relevant revisions have already been prepared. He added that the relevant cabinet paper will be released in due course. The local government representatives have presented facts to the Prime Minister pertaining to the problems with the Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government, Urban Development Authority, Salaries Commission, Department of Management Services and the Department of Evaluation. They have also pointed out on the necessary remedies relating to the garbage management and auditing. Mayor of the Moratuwa Municipal Council, Saman Lal Fernando, said that the revenue of the local government institutions have fallen rapidly due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic. He further said that shortage of employees in these institutions has also paved the way for many problems. The Prime Minister has also responded saying that the program to provide 100,000 jobs would enable to overcome the problem through more recruitments of labour. The Prime Minister has recalled that it is the responsibility of the public representatives to fulfill the promises given to receive power. It has also been revealed at a meeting that 90% of the powers vested upon the Urban Development Authority by the government which came into power in 2015 have again been transferred to the local government institutions. Director General of the Urban Development Authority, MPK Ranavira, said that the local government institute representatives will be incorporated into the process of implementation on several plans with effect from the 1st of March. The Prime Minister has also informed the local government representatives to engage in the preparation of relevant plans without causing difficulties to the general public. He has also ordered the relevant officials to take steps to fill the vacancies in evaluation officials in the local government institutions. Chief Assessor of the Government Valuation Department, Mrs. PPDS Muthukumarana, said that the new recruitments of 263 valuation officials will be able to overcome the shortage of officials. Local government representatives in the Eastern Province have enlightened the Prime Minister on the irregularities that had taken place due to the actions of the Commissioner of the Local Government in the Eastern Province. Commissioner of Local Government in the Eastern Province, N. Manivanan, was not present at the meeting. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has also inquired on the progress of the water supply projects being implemented in the northwestern, central, Uva and southern provinces. Today's meeting has been convened at the Temple Trees with the objective to complete all projects by 2024. It has also been pointed out at the discussion that the Ministry of Water Supply under the previous government had provided only 125,000 new water connections in a year. Secretary to the Ministry of Water Supply, Dr. Priyat Bandhu Vikrama, has pointed out that, however, the present government has increased the number of new water connections in a year to 400,000. He added that in future the process of laying of new pipelines will be streamlined. Accordingly, there will not be a laying of minor pipelines, but they will be laid through underground tunnels. He added that 40% of the allocations have been spent on provision of compensation when pipelines are laid along the roads. Chairman of the Water Supply and Drainage Board, Nishantha Ranatunga, said that the monthly revenue of the board is presently at 28 million rupees. Plans are underway to increase the income to 40 million rupees. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has reiterated that measures are being taken to provide clean drinking water to all by the year 2024. Minister Vasudevan Nanakkara also attended the discussion.
Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that according to the instructions of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, provision of the anti-corona vaccine to the general public has begun with effect from today. Under the first stage, vaccination of those who are living in high-risk areas in the Western Province will take place. The epidemiology unit says that the AstraZeneca vaccine has been provided to 189,349 persons under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The AstraZeneca vaccine program has commenced on the 29th of last month. Today is the 17th day of vaccination. 2,695 persons have been vaccinated yesterday. The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has reached 69,411. It is a percentage of 91.37. Another 8.11% of patients is under treatment, which includes 6,157 patients. 12,250 have left the hospitals from beginning of this month after recovering from the virus. Another 715 persons have left hospitals after recovering from the virus today. Another 311 COVID-19 patients were detected in the island today. All of them were close associates of the Plaliaguda cluster. 16,866 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. A total of 1,931,699 PCR tests have been conducted so far in the country. 7 more COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. The victims were residents of Gothatuwa, Angoda, Kurunagala, Mahawala, Peradeniya, Gampala and Jaffna. The deceased were the ages of 51, 60, 65, 72, 79, 82 and 85. Secretary of Education Professor Kapila Pereira has given instructions to all provincial and regional education authorities, heads of perennials and principals to suspend the holding of ceremonies in schools due to the corona pandemic situation. He also says that this is a period in which all should act with utmost responsibility and attention on the safety of the entire school community, including students. Permission has been granted to reopen preschools in the Western Province according to health recommendations in the relevant areas.
The final rites of former Minister and Speaker and senior politician WJM Bandara has taken place at the Kotikawatha General Cemetery this evening. Mr. Bandara, who was afflicted with COVID-19 disease, died last night while undergoing treatment at the intensive care unit of the IDH hospital in Colombo. The late minister, who has earlier been admitted to the Jayawardhanapura hospital, was transferred to the ICU of the IDH on the 7th of this month when his condition had worsened. He was 79 years old at the time of his demise. According to the quarantine laws, his remains were brought to the Kotikawatha cemetery around 5 p.m. today. Only a few close family relatives were allowed to participate in the funeral. WJM Bandara, who was born on the 5th of August 1941 in Haputale, had his preliminary education at the Bandaravilla Central College. He was a graduate at the Peradeniya University as well. He was also embedded with his name in society also as a language scholar, literary person and an author. He has also functioned at one time as an attorney at law at the Department of Legal Draftsmen. He entered Parliament in the year 1977 from the Haputale electorate as the party organizer of the United National Party. He rendered a commendable service in the capacity of Cabinet Minister of Education and Cultural Affairs, Indigenous Medicine and Justice. He had later on functioned as the Badula district organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. He was also elevated to the post of the 18th Speaker of the Sri Lanka Parliament, of which the post he had functioned from the year 2004 to the year 2010. Later on, he was appointed as the governor of the Sabaragamuwa province. He was the father of 3 children. Former parliamentarian Udit Bandara is one of his sons. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, issuing a condolence message on the demise of WJM Bandara, said that he was a people-oriented politician, language scholar and a critic who would become a topic in social dialogues for many more years to come. He added that his political activities were respected by all those in the government and the opposition. The Prime Minister, issuing a message of condolence, said had rendered an immeasurable service to the Sinhala language and culture by being a literary scholar and hela howler. He had always given prominence to the interests of the country and the people. Speaker Mahindaya Abeyewardene, issuing a condolence message, says that he was a genuine human being who has reached the lighthouse in his life journey, overcoming tremendous challenges. He was also an unbiased speaker in Parliament.
State Minister of Primary Health Services, Pandemics and COVID Prevention, Dr. Sudarshini Fernandipule, says that lockdown measures are not required to be imposed in the country following the detection of the new UK variant of COVID-19. However, she said that other health protective measures will be carried out to curb the spread of the outbreak among the masses. She also said that the national inoculation program to vaccinate the general public was commenced today, prioritizing the high-risk areas in Western Province.
Sri Jayawardenepura University has been constantly monitoring the new viral variant. Accordingly, the B117 variant had been identified in certain pockets in Colombo, Avisawella, Biyagama and Vaunia, and of these cases, majority of them have returned from abroad. So there's no risk it will get into the community because they have been quarantined for 14 days, but there have been a few cases where the origin of this variant cannot be identified. The epidemiology unit is investigating. But even though we have identified the new variant, I mean, there's no need to panic. There's no idea to lock down the entire country. But of course, when there are clusters of cases, the control measures are taken according to the normal measures, like, when you are positive, the patient is transferred to an intermediate care center. The primary contacts are quarantined. So just because we have detected a few cases with the new variant, there's no necessity to lock down the entire country, but the certain clusters, of course, the mobility would be restricted in order to control the clusters and avoid spreading into other areas. Because our surveillance system is in place, we have been able to detect this new variant. Right now, we have been able to vaccinate approximately 190,000 people. We started ahead of time. Initially, we vaccinated the healthcare workers, the tri-forces and the police. Now, we are in the process of vaccinating the healthcare workers in the private sector, and the priorities have been identified. And also, a decision has been taken to give the second dose at an interval of 10 to 12 weeks. But initially, we were planning to give the booster after 4 weeks, but with the current available scientific information, we have shifted the timing of the second dose to 10 to 12 weeks. So therefore, we have approximately 275,000 doses in hand, and we have, with His Excellency blessings, we have started vaccinating the population. Since Western Province, especially Colombo and Gampaha districts, have been identified as the high-risk areas, so therefore the vaccinating the population has commenced today from Colombo district, where the garbage workers, the workers attached to the Colombo Municipal Council engaged in waste management have been given the vaccine today. So the vaccination of the population has commenced today, and with the available vaccines, we will be prioritizing Western Province, especially Gampaha, Colombo, mainly the Grama Niladhari divisions, which are reporting high numbers of cases.
Secretary to the Ministry of Primary Health Services, Epidemiology and COVID Prevention, Dr. Amal Harsha De Silva, says that the public should not inflict any fear on the UK variant of the novel coronavirus detected in the country recently. He said that AstraZeneca vaccine, currently being utilized for the national inoculation program, is efficient in combating the new variant of the virus, including other mutations.
Now there is also a little bit of panic in the society, stating that there are new variants of the virus which has come, and therefore we are in a new danger zone. But of course we are studying the situation very carefully, and there is no need for panic, but rather than adhering to the health ministry guidelines on prevention of the spread of the disease. I mean, that's the best thing that the public can do right now. There are certain amount of variants that we have found, but in the meantime, as everybody knows, the viruses are bugs which changes with time, and therefore there are mutations which are happening in viruses, whether it's brought from outside or whether it's from Sri Lanka itself. Viruses are changing organisms. Therefore, when viruses change, their virulence or their harmfulness can also change. But in the meantime, we have not seen massive number of virulence in the near past, and then also we are watching the situation very carefully, and we are watching the variants, and also our expert committees are meeting together and to discuss as to how we could combat the new situations. But the good news is that this vaccine covers all mutations for the time being. Therefore, if you are a vaccine eligible person, the best thing is to get the vaccine and protect yourself. Now, what we are trying to do is to get down more vaccines and protect much people as possible. And therefore, I mean, the government aim is to bring down vaccines and then cover the population in stages.
The Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation, which has unfailingly fulfilled its national responsibility for a period of nearly 4 decades, celebrated its 39th anniversary today. the people in the country hold in high esteem the duties of the national television in safeguarding the audio-visual tradition and carrying forward the Sri Lanka identity to the world. Telecast of the Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation, which was established on an Act of Parliament, commenced on the 15th of February 1982. This was a donation from the Japanese government. Becoming the pioneer in this country field of television, it was the National Rupavahini introduced a high standard and artistic perfection for that purpose. The Rupahani Corporation continuously dedicates itself to fulfill all responsibilities assigned on behalf of the social progression without fail as the official electronic media of Sri Lanka. The Rupahani Corporation owns 3 program channels, namely National Rupavahini, ChannelEye and Netra, for a top-level entertainment on behalf of hundreds of thousands of viewers. Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation, which produces programs in 3 languages, Sinhala, Tamil and English, is the pilot in especially national and international live telecasts and is outstanding as the leader. National Television has embarked on a significant mission with the aspiration of strengthening the mutual respect, cooperation and trust among all communities to ensure the reconciliation process in the country. National Rupavahini is the broadcaster with the most coverage zones in the island. The most valuable resource this institution, which consists of modern technology, possesses is the staff, including creative producers with inherent skills. Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation, which has been rewarded with many local and foreign awards, gives viewers of today as well as then with meaningful programs. At the Raigam Telly's Awards presentation last year, the national television was bestowed with the award for the Best Television Channel of the Year.
යම් නාලිකාවක් විසින් දිනාගත් වැඩිම සමස්ත සම්මාන ගණන වූ සම්මාන 16ක් දිනා ගනිමින් වසරේ සම්මානනීය නාලිකාව ලෙස අභිෂේක ලබන්නේ
යලිත් වතාවක් ජාතික රූපවාහිනිය ජාතික නාලිකාව.
The entire world is facing a strong COVID-19 pandemic condition. It has created an immense impact on the entire world community. Under such circumstances, the national television has been conducting a significant service to enlighten the general public on the disease. Following the changing society but without hindering culture and tradition, and it's engaged in a successful journey forward. That is by fulfilling all national responsibilities without fail.
An all-night Birit chanting ceremony was conducted on the 39th anniversary of Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation yesterday. The ceremony was held at the corporation premises. The objective of the Pinkhamers was to bless the people, the country and the staff of the Rupahani Corporation. The main Anusasana was conducted by Venerable Professor B. Goda Abetis Sotera.
රූපවාහිනී සංස්ථාව නිරන්තරයෙන්ම දේශීයත්වය අපේකම සංස්කෘතිය විශේෂෙහි වටිනා අවධානයක් යොමු කරමින් තමාගේ ජාතික නාලිකාවේ කාර්යභාරය ඉටු කරමින් කටයුතු කරන ආයතනයක්. ඒ නිසා වසර 30 ගණනක් මුළුල්ලේ මුළු මහත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා ද්වීපයේම ජනමනස පෝෂණය කරන්නට ගුණධර්මයන්ගෙන් සම්පූර්ණ කරන්නට අපේ ජාතික රූපවාහිනියට ශක්තිය ලැබිලා තියෙනවා.
This religious rites was carried out by the Mahasangha headed by Chief Sanghanayaka of Colombo, Navakurule and Navathotamuna and Chief Incumbent of the Sri Javarathanarame Kotte, Venerable Devahandiye Sri Panyasekara Thera. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Jagat P. Vijayveera, Director General of Government Information Nalaka Kaluwewa, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation Dr. Nihal Jatilaka and Director General of Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation Ajit Naragala were present at this occasion. Subsequently, an almsgiving to the Mahasangha was conducted this morning.
In other stories, admission of children to grade 1 of schools has been conducted throughout the island in parallel to the main ceremony today. All these events have been organized according to health guidelines. The main ceremony in the North Central Province for the admission of students to grade 1 was conducted at the Royal Central College in Polonnaruwa. The main ceremony in the Sabaragamuwa Province was organized at the Kumara Vidyalaya in Ratnapura. The main ceremony in Hatton Education Division was conducted at the Sri Mal Tamil Mahavidyalaya in Dikkoyavatta. The Kekal district main ceremony for the admission of students to grade of schools was held at the Beddewala Primary School in Rambukkana. Admission of students to grade of schools at the Manavila Upananda Vidyalaya in Gaul was also conducted according to health guidelines. A ceremony was also held at the Guruvarama Primary School in Amilipitiya. Mahanayaka of the Askiriya chapter, the Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thera, has presided over the ceremony to admit students to the Chandananda Buddhist schools in Kandy today. Any Nayaka of the Askiriya chapter, the Venerable Veneruwe Sri Upali Thero, was also present on this occasion.
And meanwhile, electorate meetings of the Sri Lanka Podhajana Peramuna are being conducted successfully throughout the island according to health instructions. The theme of the meetings is Siv Desa Suraki Siv Vasara. Minister Keheli Rambukwala has presided over the Kundasala Electorate Youth Representatives Conference at the Rambakan Hall in Manikinna yesterday. People's representatives and party activists were present at this meeting. The Divulapeti Electorate Youth Federation meeting was presided over by State Minister Indika Anuruddha and the Marandegahamula head office. Parliamentarian Premnath C. Dolavatta and party activists have attended this event. State Minister Kanaka Herath has presided over the Ratnapura Electorate meeting. Parliamentarian Johnson Viratna, Prime Minister's Coordinating Secretary Mahesh Vidhanagama and regional people's representatives have also attended the meeting. And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.